to this speech, but when you're talking in terms of kids in the program that are placed in placement, some of them are placed in programs because a lot of times the parents don't even have the essentials to keep their own family together. Wouldn't it be amazing if those opportunities were there for parents where they would be able to choose where their kids go to school, where they can make better choices? I mean, the less rules, more freedom. And I think those restrictions that are being put on families, or even in the case dealing with foster kid, are unreasonable demands and unfair, because you can't even get the primary things accomplished. And there may have been a time where you could probably have this debate when we have an unemployment rate that just jumped 20,000 new unemployment. See, the numbers don't add up, because if you're looking at all these buildings around our neighborhood, just up in a couple of streets over in another neighborhood, every building is boarded up. There's something that doesn't make sense. Now, America in the 30s and 40s, that would never have happened. Why is it different? Has it just been a gradual progression of things? Absolutely. This is why a lot of it has to be either put a halt to it and bring some reasonable, I guess I would say reasonable framework where people could start over. But in today's America, looking at what we're seeing, I think we're taking a big risk, because realistically, can you really unravel what's already been done? Well, I don't know that you can do anything with the damage that's been done. And most people who have ever been in a tornado will look at the damage, they'll assess the damage, and they'll get to work and see what the main projects they want to hit on, and then the secondary projects, and they'll probably have different teams blocked that do specific things. In terms of America, if this can change, which it's not that I don't doubt that it can't, and it's not that I don't support Donald Trump at all in some areas, because I think Donald Trump's message is resonating. What I hope to hear from, I would like to hear it from Hillary. I like her to really get honest. You can't possibly ignore the big elephant in the room. It's just hard to listen to Hillary Clinton's daughter on that podium without asking them to at least confront some of the things that are bothersome. And I see that the Bernie supporters, just listening from reports at InfoWars, that they're not even going there at all. And it's like as if, it's hard to listen to that speech and not appreciate that. I think a lot of people genuinely like the fact that Chelsea got to the podium. She's not like the kind of person that we've heard often, but she sounds a lot like any daughter who's proud of their mother, and I think we can all agree with that. What didn't feel right about this is that that's not the Hillary we've been seeing in the public. She's been pretty strong. She's very highly opinionated. She's not very soft-spoken. I think what women need is a sensitive woman who's sensitive but strong. That inner strength is something that comes from within you, and it depends on what is in you. Is it born out of love? Is it born out of strength because you persevere through hard times? Because I would want to look at a woman who has inner strength instead of outer strength, like that strong opinions. Women do have strong opinions, and I think it's because they want to see their homes, their families grow, prosper, and they want to see this. They want to not just talk about it, but they want to see it. And what we need is to be that much more encouraging to the men who are in charge at home. Stop looking at this as a man and woman fight between men and women, because often pitting men and women against each other only aggravates the problem. And I think when I think about this, I think that sometimes some of us women will let our opinions we're way in over our head. We need the leverage of a responsible man, dad, to keep balance, because that's really the leader of your home. I mean, he could show leadership at work and all those things. Those are very important, but they don't I think what happens is your priorities shift. Women in the workplace, that if women are spending 50, 60 hours at their job, or 40 hours at their job or plus more, the paradigm shift has changed so much because women are in a workforce and there's an expectation that women need to keep up with those demands. If the woman is dressing up, I heard this said by somebody very, very smart, that women are dressing up, going to work, looking good, but that by the time they get home, they're in their pajamas, they're relaxing, they don't want to really kind of want to tune everything out. They're not dressing up for their husband, though. And I always thought, the way I was raised at least, is that you want to look your best, feel your best. And that demand that men feel is also coupled with the competition of her going out, being a breadwinner. And it just kind of diminishes the role of a man. So if a man isn't feeling valuable or worthy or confident, and they're not feeling like they're getting the right strokes, they're going to start looking to other people and other ones. And I've learned this the hard way, going through a divorce. I would want this advice for people who might be considering cheating or even divorce, that there is an imbalance, and that it's one that we should recognize. I would hope we would, so that we won't encounter the problems that divorce has led to. And you know what? Most of the reasons why there is poverty is because of the high divorce rate, and also the problems that come with, like, the framework in which people date. And you know what I mean? You say what you want about marriage. You think that marriage, the sex part comes first, but let me say this. Most of the people that have put the sex life first before the commitment part always end up hurting themselves. And this is not a question whether you can't have sex. This is a question of commitment. If you don't have the commitment first, all the sex in the world isn't going to do much of that relationship. That won't help the relationship. That commitment, you want the commitment first. And by committing, that means you go into it committed because it's not driven by sex. That's a lot of times we've been accused of being attacked for these reasons, like somehow that this is not about sex out of marriage. No, actually, it's commitment. It's making a commitment first, an honorable commitment, because if you honor an honorable commitment, it has long-lasting benefits. I just wanted to point that out because I think there are a lot of people that will go down that road, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. This is not a question about sex before marriage, because that can be debated too. And I'm not into putting people on a guilt trip because, listen, that it's a little too late. Most people aren't virgins, and we live in Realville. The problem is, if we do this the right way and we start learning how to do it the right way, you put the commitment first. You do it in an honorable way. You want an honorable relationship with the person that you're committed to. You want the right commitment, not a commitment full of tentacles, of all kinds of confusing questions. I would basically say treat your relationship or marriage, your future, with that in mind. Just you want to go and ask them the important questions that would build the framework for a good home. A responsible relationship means you're honest with each other. You're committed to doing the right thing. And it doesn't mean you're always going to do it correctly. It means you're willing to put your desires aside and make commitment being more important. And there's the value in that. I hope that helps. I wanted to post that. God bless you.